Hey everybody, Darren here, right in good old Salem, Ohio. I'm just going to welcome everybody back to another episode of Outdoors with the Morgans.
Okay, there you have it. This is the jug that goes on the Woodmizer sawmill. There are 3 gallons of the windshield washer fluid, 1 cup of pine sol, and 2 drops of Dawn dishwashing soap. I can cross it off my list. Brought my computer out. I'm going to answer some questions. We'll see if it makes the edit. See if Mike likes my idea here of answering some questions. I've pushed pretty hard for a swimming pool. I just turned 50 a few weeks ago, and I didn't get a swimming pool. But I did get an official $1 donation to the Melissa Morgan Swimming Pool Fund. Yeah, so I want to say thanks very much for reaching out and sending that to us, and thanks for all the gifts that you've sent for my birthday. I'm getting the thank you cards sent out, and I want to say thank you to everyone that seriously poured heart and soul and prayers into well wishes for Eva. We felt them, and Eva appreciates them. So I think I'll be able to catch her at the end of this video. She should be home from school, and let her share that with you. All right, I want to give a couple shout outs to Street Rocker Joe, John Bradley, great support. Old Dog Dreaming, all those great supporters. I feel when you do a shout out, there's so many people you miss because there's so many great people. I do get some messages about when I'm going to make my cheeseburger soup and my meatloaf on video. So I might surprise you, but I'm going to put those on my channel. That's Melissa Morgan. The only video I have right now on my channel is a video of Eva from like 7 years ago of her singing a song that I just thought was so cute. And she is the cutest. But if I do those videos for the cheeseburger soup and the meatloaf and maybe a couple other things that I'm gonna do that's me, like fitness or the dogs, I'll put my videos on Melissa Morgan YouTube. I'll let you know. We've been getting some questions about autism and Hunter and what's it been like, and so many of you have reached out to us and sent us messages or shared stories about maybe your son, daughter, grandson, a relative, neighbor that may have autism or does have autism, and what's it been like for us. So Hunter's 27. He's always lived with us. When Hunter was a toddler, he talked for probably 8 months. So at 12 months, he started to learn to say some words. You know, he could say juice, at the end of a prayer, Jesus, amen, daddy, our dog's name was Jake, more. He could say those, please, those words, and then that went away at like 18 months. So Levi and Hunter are 18 months apart, and we had a new baby, and it started making sense that he's jealous of the baby. But he was diagnosed at 2, a little over 2, and yeah. So we've always included Hunter in all the activities we do as a family. We have learned ones that, you know, set him off or don't go well, or we have to make adapt, and we do. One question we get a lot is, what are you going to do with the bark slabs off the logs that you're sawing? And right now, we're not going to do anything with them. We've been stacking them in a pile, and we'll probably just cut them up to firewood. And we've had a couple people that have wanted them, but that's a big question we get. So as of right now, that's our plan. Okay. All right, another question we've received lately is, are you going to get another dog? I would love to get another dog. I'm not sure I'm ready for another dog yet. Because another dog's got to be, in my mind right now, is got to be another Stanley. And he was one of a kind. You all know that. You've seen him in action. And it's hard to find. It's hard to find another Stanley. So as of right now, I think we're going to just let Piper and Rue take things over. And they're doing a pretty good job. This Friday is Ruger's birthday. So yeah, he'll be 7. We'll celebrate his birthday, and I'm sure you'll see that.
So Melissa had an idea there the other day about us maybe taking one day a week and just answering some questions that keep coming up. And I think it's a pretty good idea. So I was going to do that and kind of a little recap of what we did there in January. Right here I'm working on some red pine that was down by the pond. This wood here I'll be using for siding and even some framing lumber for some drying sheds and things like that. Right here I'm using the Wallenstein skidding winch. That is a Wallenstein FX85. Works fantastic. It is a game changer. If you have like steep and hilly ground and you can't get to those trees, it does a fantastic job. It really does. And a lot of people are asking about the weight of these logs. You know, this is softwood here. Mostly everything we cut's hardwood. But this red pine, it's not real heavy. I mean, that's a pretty good load on the tractor right there. But I didn't have any trouble getting up the hill from down by the pond up to the yard with this load here. And there's a pretty good jag of wood right there. These 4 logs here, they all came from one tree. I actually got 2 more out of that one. And we've got a lot of this red pine. Most of it's, I wouldn't say most of it, but a lot of it's dying off. I think it was planted back in the 50s and it was planted too close together. But I would make pretty good use of this stuff. The Woodmizer, it goes through this red pine like a hot knife through butter. I thought I'd have more trouble with the sap, but I don't. And if you saw at the beginning of this video, Melissa was filling up the jug on the LX 150. This time of year, like she said, we run washer fluid, some Pine Sol, and a little touch of Dawn dishwashing detergent. All the Dawn does is keep that Pine Sol separated so it doesn't all kind of end up in one spot in the tank. This is a cherry tree. It was growing right up against a hemlock, and I got it to go exactly where I wanted there. It didn't hurt any other trees. But that one there, I got 2 small diameter saw logs out of, and the rest will be for firewood. And speaking of firewood, people have been asking about this bucket. That's a fantastic firewood bucket right there for the tractor. Holds a lot of wood. It really does. And that came from Top Dog Attachments. I'll put a link in the description for that, along with a link to the Wallenstein FX85. So here's Melissa splitting some of that wood. So keep in mind, everything in that bucket is a remainder of that tree. I got 2 10-foot saw logs out of it that'll go on the sawmill, and the rest of that is all in that firewood bucket on the RK55. And Melissa's getting real comfortable with the Wolfe Ridge compact commercial splitter. We went over all the safety stuff. You can see here, like, she keeps her hand out of the way. She does a really good job, and it's just one of those things. If you don't do it all the time, it takes a little getting used to, and she's coming along really well. And what works out well is You know, I'm at work while she's doing this right here, so we can work together in the evenings or the weekends, and then during the day she's getting a lot of stuff done, even like filling up that jug for the Woodmizer. Say I get home and I have 45 minutes to spare, I can maybe run down to the mill. She saves me 10 minutes, you know, and she does a lot of that kind of stuff that helps out tremendously around here. And if you wonder why she can handle this firewood like this, you can probably tell from the beginning of this video. She goes to the gym every morning at, I think her class starts at 5:30, and she puts in a lot of work. Alright, next up is the self-releasing snatch block. This thing's as handy as a pocket on a shirt. Watch how this releases when the choker hits it. Boom, just like that. That came from Wallenstein as well. Very handy when you're using the skidding winch. So here's that same log you just saw. I have it on the mill. This is a cherry tree. Now I should clarify, it's actually black cherry. Some people call it wild cherry. It does have fruit, but it's more like a dark colored pea-sized fruit, not like a cherry that you're used to seeing. These grow all over the place here in Pennsylvania, probably from, I think, the Midwest through the Northeast. The wood is just beautiful. It's used for furniture making, cabinets, veneer, trim, all sorts of stuff, but you'll see here in a minute just how pretty this wood is. And it saws nice, it finishes nice. It's just an all-around great wood, definitely my favorite hardwood there is. And it's not as heavy as oak or anything like that, but the color of it is just phenomenal. Now here's that same cherry after it was sawn into 8/4. And by the way, 8/4 is 2 inches thick, 4/4 1 inch thick, 12/4 3 inches thick. But you can see just how beautiful that grain is. It's really, really pretty wood, and it's actually a pretty valuable lumber. Also, I want to mention, I just saw this clip in here, but this was from a video I did comparing a Farm Series steel, the MS-271, to the Pro Series, the MS-261, and kind of showing the differences between both these saws. They're both great firewood saws. But that's a pretty good video if you're in the market for a good firewood saw. You could go back and check that one out. Oh, here's a little clip that I found. I don't think this ever made it in a video. I'm not sure what happened, but this is elm right here, red elm. And I hope Buck and Billy Ray doesn't see this right here because I'm using a Fisker's axe. But elm is very difficult to split. This one tree here was one of the easier ones that I've ever tried. But it's a very stringy wood. It's heavy, it's dense, it's hard. It's a tough wood to split. It's probably my least favorite, but you can see it's actually kind of pretty. I did cut some live edge slabs out of a log, and they actually seem to be drying pretty nicely. Couple checks on the ones towards the center, but the rest of them look pretty good, and they're not moving much, but it's only been maybe a month, something like that. But yeah, splitting some elm by hand. Like I said, this stuff here is splitting pretty easy. Normally it's not this easy. Here's another one of those red pines that I dropped. Now I'm used to, falling like hardwoods and things like that, and something I learned pretty quick. The saw cuts real fast. The first one that I took down, I almost cut through my hinge. This one, I remembered that, and you'll see here when it goes down, I probably left about a 3-inch hinge, maybe 2.5, I don't know, but it went exactly where I wanted. I had a small window there. It worked out really well. I need to get that out of the woods here as soon as I can, if it ever freezes or dries up. This is from a video just the other day. A lot of people ask me, when I'm going to stack this wood or what I'm going to do with it. I'm not going to stack this wood here. This big pile here, what I'll do first thing in the spring, for some of my regular customers, I'll just deliver this in bulk. I won't have to touch it. I'll use the firewood bucket, load it right in the dump trailer, and that 6x12 Mort's dump trailer that I have holds 1 full cord just tossed in, so it's pretty easy to measure. And by the way, all I'm doing right here is kind of pushing this pile back a little bit. It's kind of encroaching on my road some, and things are getting kind of tight down there. There's not a lot of room because I just have a little bit of stone there, and everything's so muddy everywhere else, so I'm just trying to make some room here is all I was doing. Here's another piece of that red elm, but this time I am using the Wolfe Ridge compact commercial to split it. Splits really well on this, pretty quick, pretty easy. I'll tell you, this splitter has been a dream. It really has. It is super fast, and you can produce a lot of wood in a short amount of time with this thing. Here I am cutting some cherry up using the MS-261, but this is the helmet cam. Some people seem to really like the helmet cam. Other people says it makes them dizzy, but it's pretty handy. It is a DJI Osmo Pocket. No, I'm sorry, a DJI Osmo Action. And I like them better than GoPros. I do. I've had good luck with all of DJI's products. But I'll put a link in the description for that camera if you want to check one of those out. I mentioned earlier the Wallenstein skidding winch. Here's a better look at it right here. I have not taken this off the RK55 since it arrived here. I use it all the time. Like I said, it's a game changer. It works really, really well. This was from this past weekend. I was hand filing the MS880. That's a 4-foot bar. I had really good results. It definitely cut faster when I was done. I did talk to Buckin, and he gave me a couple more pointers. I may try that this weekend. It won't take long. Touch it up even a little bit more, and we'll try it out one more time. Hey, I want to mention too, I want to thank everyone for sending in the intros and the outros to our videos. They have been fantastic. We love seeing them. Please keep that up. Send them to outdoorswiththemorgans@gmail.com. You know, when Jeannie, our neighbor, had that idea, I thought, yeah, you know, we'll do that for a couple weeks. That sounds pretty cool. And when they started rolling in and I started seeing what everyone's doing in their part of the world, I'm like, this is just awesome. It is. And it's really cool. So keep that up. We're just going to keep randomly picking them and dropping them into the videos from now on. But yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. I can't believe nobody's ever done that before. At least I haven't seen it. But yeah, keep it up. We will wrap this video up with just a couple random clips here. This is daughter Hannah at the gym. She goes the same time Melissa does every morning. But let me know in the comments if you enjoy this type of video. I won't do this all the time, maybe once a month or once every couple weeks or something. But it is a good way to kind of recap what we did the month before, kind of look ahead, and also to answer as many questions as we can. Right now it's the 1st of February. Cannot wait until March 8th. That is when we turn the clocks. And when it stays light later, that allows me to get a lot more done here around the property. And it's just a good time of year. I can smell spring. I mean, we've got about, 6 weeks or something, 8 weeks. It's right around the corner. It's going to be a really good year here. We got a lot of things planned. Should be a lot of fun, and we hope you stick around for the ride. But like I always say, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, click subscribe, and share them with your friends. Thanks.
Hey, this is Steve in Big Rock, Illinois. Thanks for watching Outdoors with the Morgans. Like Mike always says, like, subscribe, and share them with your friends.